G'day and welcome to Uncaged Expeditions. Boy, do I have a special episode for you guys today. As you know, I take my four-wheel drive everywhere, take it through scrub, bushes. I don't treat it too well. Well, I do, but I don't. I use it for what it's meant to be used and I built it for. I'm not shy with it, but I do look after it when it comes back. It always gets mechanically looked after 100%. But now it's time to pretty her up a little bit. Get rid of all the scratches. Now, I don't know if it's going to come up in camera, but there's obviously a lot of scratches all over it. I hope that's coming up in the camera. Yeah, well. Anyway. Yeah, she's scratched all over. So, I do the washing and all that regularly on the car. Well, kind of regularly anyway. But to get it looking brand spanking and to look after the paintwork, I get a little bit of help. Bruno?
Morning, George.
How you going?
Very good, yourself?
Very good. Ready for another big job?
Exactly. As you can see, I've got my
what's that in your hand? Oh, yeah.
Uncaged Expeditions coffee.
That's how we roll. So, Bruno, what's the plan for today? What are we doing?
Okay, so we'll start off with the full decontamination wash. Nice thorough wash. We'll do some clay barring as well, just to prep the paint. Then we'll go through and we'll just examine what sort of cutting we need to do today. So obviously, less is better. And we'll try and get out most of those scratches, if not at least 95% of them. Once we're done, we'll give it a nice thorough wash again, and then we'll seal it with our ceramic coating, which is a Car Pro product, and that should protect it for another couple of years as well. So hopefully it should look
spot on,
just as good as it did from the day you picked it up from the showroom.
Well, this is the second time Bruno's attacked this car. First time he did it, she came out looking better than you. Now, I've kind of butchered it a little bit more than normal. But I'm confident that Bruno will get it looking spot on.
As close as possible.
Spot on. I'm confident. He may not be too confident. I'm confident. All good. Whoop. And there's my alarm telling me to wake up. Bruno's always early. Alrighty. Now, we're going to get this happening. Maybe that light might help the scratches kind of come out.
It's more for some detailed swirls, but yeah, the scratches are pretty evident.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Anyway, we've got, as Bruno said, he's got his V, I got my V. Let's get stuck into it. Now, Bruno's really thorough when he does all this detailing. Last time he did this car, he took everything off. He took the roof, I had the Max Tracks on the roof, everything, shovel holders, everything I had previously to the rooftop tent going on, and he took everything off so we could do the roof and get the job done properly, whereas I probably would have just gone around wherever my hand can reach. But this time, obviously, got the big rooftop tent. I've told him not to worry about that, we're not going to take it off, where he was half wanting to take it off, but it's too much of an effort. So I told him, leave that on, that's protected anyway, there's no sun, there's no nothing going to the top, so that's all good. But he goes, take off the back tyres, so you know what? I'm just listening. He's the boss. I'm listening. I'm just giving him a hand now. Anyway, let's take him off. Alrighty, they're off. So it doesn't take too long. Actually, let me take it because it leaves marks. Yeah, it's coming around in the camera. You can see the marks around the tyres. Brilliant. Okay, now time to start bathing her. See, Bruno's a tall bloke. But sometimes, even tall people need step ladders. See, I'm used to using step ladders on this car for practically most things anyway, when it's above the halfway point, but I'm a short ass. Bruno's relatively tall and still uses a step ladder, see? Makes me feel better. And there we go again. Brilliant. So, stage 2. There's a lot of stages, and I don't think he calls them stage. I'm just making it up. Stage 2. So we've hosed it down, taken a few things off, like the tyres and that we're going to remove. The high pressure hose everything off. Did the foam bubble thing. I'm not technical. I don't know. I'm sure there's proper words for it and things for it. I use my own language. So we gave it a bubble bath, a foam bath. Now we're going to do the normal old-fashioned wash, but obviously Bruno does it properly, unlike myself. He uses 2 buckets. I'd use 1 and be happy with it. And proper branded buckets. Very professional, people.
It's all the detail.
That's it. Detail with everything, huh, Bruno?
That's right. Branding's key.
Anyway, I think I should give you a hand. Let's get this thing done. Stage 2 complete. All washed up, scrubbed up. See, this is where I'd normally be at, and I'd normally be happy. Like she's clean, she's done. But this is only scratching the surface with what Bruno's going to do to it today. And it's starting to rain. I don't know if you can hear it or see it. Can't really see it. Yeah, starting to rain. So we'll start drying it out here and probably have to move it into the garage to give it its final chamois. See how we go. All right, Bruno, what are you doing here? Looks like you're massaging my car.
Just a little bit of Play-Doh.
Play-Doh? Very good. Tricks of the trade, people.
No, this is what we call a clay barring process. So because you obviously use this in harsh terrain, we're expecting to see a little bit of road grime or just little chips from rocks and everything else embedded in the paint, which is a disaster if you start polishing with those chips still in there. So this is a critical step for any car that's probably seen some harsh terrain or is a couple of years old. It's one of the steps that need to be taken at the start. So now the car's nice and clean, we'll do this. This is just a little bit of lubricant. You probably can't tell on camera, but it starts off like a sandy noise, and then once you just keep rubbing, it turns into a silky finish, and that's when you know that you can move on to the next panel.
Perfect. And I thought my truck was getting a massage. Lucky truck. We've moved inside now because it started spinning again. Right after we've dried the whole truck. So now Bruno's doing some pinstriping on the Landcruiser. I tell you, Lucky's a good detailer because he's not a very good pinstriper. Alright, Bruno, what are you doing with these multicoloured pinstripes here?
Alright.
What's happening?
What I've done is I've masked up anything to do with plastic and rubber, because we all know that polish and rubber and plastic just don't mix. So save it all going white or hitting it by accident with the machine. What I'd like to do is always tape up anything to do with rubber. But what I've also done here is created a 50-50 split. So we'll take some before and afters, or at least we'll polish to one side and then we'll compare it to the right hand side. So with the lights that I've got in here, they're obviously designed to pick up all types of swirls. So if you follow the actual 2 light bulbs,
there we go.
LED light.
Yeah, you can see them.
You start to see the swirls. So hopefully we'll start with a moderate cut and polish and see how we go with that. And if we have to change our technique by going a little bit more aggressive, we will. But considering that this is a workhorse, we'll try to get it to about 95% rather than going too far into it and trying to make it 100%, because we understand that it's still going to see some harsh terrain. But we'll see how we go. As long as George is happy, I'm happy. But I'll go as far as George wants me to go.
Perfect. I'm happy now. All right, Bruno, let's pack up. Let's go have a barbecue. Alrighty, Bruno, let's have a look. Now, I don't know if that's gonna kind of come out on camera. Is it coming out? Oh, you can kind of see it there. That's the line there. So it says scratch and then no scratch. You're not going to get rid of all of them 100%, obviously. Like, there are deep scratches in this, and I mean, I drive through trees. Like, it really doesn't matter. But you got to be realistic at the end of the day. And I just love shit stirring Bruno a little bit, saying, "Nah, that will have to be gone." But you know what? They can't be. So 90-95%, I'm happy with that. Bruno's happy with that. I think any normal human being would be happy with that. So now, time to do the rest of the car. Okay, Bruno, a bit of a progress report here. Let's have a look. Let's see if it comes out. Obviously see all the lines in there. It's pretty hammered. That's the line. Perfect. Let's see if we can grab this light off. That might, there we go. See scratches everywhere. And then all that spot on.
Grab this still too dry.
Spot on. It's good, it shows a good variation. And then see the lines, and then onto the next door, which has been done. Perfect. Spot on. Well done, Bruno.
That's it.
See, but that shows exactly the differences there. Perfect. Now we just got to do the rest of the car. Hey, Bruno.
I thought it was just the one door.
Call it quits after that, eh? All right, Bruno, what are we up to? What stage? Well, according to my made-up stages, what are we, probably about 4 or so. But Bruno, what's going on? What are we up to?
All right, so all the cutting and polishing is done.
Yep.
Now we're going to give it a nice thorough wash to remove all the oils that we've just applied because of all the compounds and the polishing that we've used, and obviously all the dust that it's created. So one final wash, dry it nice and dry, make sure there's no water seeping out from anything, and then we can start preparing it for the ceramic coat. So what I use is an alcohol wipe just to go over it as a precautionary step, just to make sure that we removed all the oils, and then we can start ceramic coating. So maybe step 3 for me.
So I'm not that far off.
No, you're not far off. But it's looking $1 million, so hopefully you're happy with it.
Beautiful.
So there's no gloss enhancements applied to this at this point. This is just the natural shine of the body of the car through the paintwork with all the cutting and polishing that we've done. I still believe that we've achieved the 95%, which is all about managing customer expectations and just making sure that we all understand that you can go to 100%, but you are essentially butchering the whole car just to eliminate 1 or 2 minor scratches. So it's best to keep as much of the clear that we can as possible. That way we can keep doing this on a regular basis and making sure that we get this sort of result every time. But yeah, it's looking good.
Well, that's it. It's all about longevity.
That's right.
Like with anything in life, you want things to last. You want to be able to do it time and time again, and get the same results time and time again, rather than butcher it once, have it looking spot on once, but you know what? Then the paintwork's too thin to do anything with.
Correct.
Especially when you're planning on keeping this car forever, which I am planning on keeping this car forever. I'm going to be the next Ruthie with Milo. Well, not for a few years. He's a bit older than me. No offense, Ruthie. I love you and all, but you're a little bit older, yeah? Now, we've just taken the car out, the four-wheel drive out. Just going to give it another wash. But as you can see, like, there's little fluff things on there, so we'll get rid of all that. Get rid of any residue, as Bruno had said. But already she's looking spot on. .35s. Beautiful. Very good. Bubble bath number 2. Now this is after its second bubble bath. And she's looking good. Looks like naked without the rear tyres. Alrighty. Now it's time for the ceramic coating. Alright, well, I got the end bit. So, Bruno,
Yeah, mate.
now, tell me, what's going on with these gloves that you're putting on here?
Well, it all depends, George.
We are still working on the car, yeah? No
We are.
funny business until the car's finished.
Exactly. There's only a reward once the job's done. So now we're going to prepare for the ceramic coat. So I've gone over it with the reset, which is the alcohol spray, so there's absolutely no oils left on the paintwork.
Yep.
Make sure that the ceramic coat adheres correctly to the paint. This is just the little applicator that we use. An old A&L fuse to do the job.
Oh, perfect.
In the car stereo days. Alright, so we'll just move on to this. So what we use, we've got 2 cloths. We dedicate 2 cloths so they don't absorb, so they're specific to this application. Once we apply it, we wait for it to flash, which is sort of like a hologram finish. We use 1 cloth, starting with the side number 1, so they're all numbered, so we make use of the full towel. And then we use a secondary cloth more as a precautionary step, just to make sure that everything's nice and evenly done. Without going through that extra step, we run the risk of having high spots, which will become blotchy, which we don't want. Hence the reason why we always do a second pass. All right, let's get cracking.
So, in other words, and after that, he does the hard work and applies, and he just tells me to wipe off, basically, and tells me what number on the cloth to go. That's it. I'm here to help people. I'm here to help. I'm very helpful. Alrighty. As you can see on camera, I can see a little bit. Just looks wet and smeared where it's on. But you only need a real little amount when you put on.
Yeah, this is better in some instances.
Yeah. That's it. You gotta know what you're doing.
And on a day like today, it should dry nice and comfortably without having to rush anything. Might not be able to pick it up on camera, but it will start to create like a hologram effect, which we call flashing. And only then is it time to remove. If you remove it too soon, it does nothing. If you remove it too late, it becomes almost impossible to wipe off.
Nice. No, it's not coming up in camera.
Yeah, I can
All
see
you can
it
see is,
yeah, it's okay.
all you can see is a mirror.
And this stuff continues to cure for a full week. So even after today, tomorrow, if we were to sort of mentally take a snapshot of what it looks like, it should look a little bit glossier as it dries up throughout the week.
Perfect.
So that's 1 wipe. Go down secondary towel and the same number 1. Because George is holding the camera.
Yeah, that'd be my job normally, peoples.
And that's it. And we just do little sections at a time, that way we can control the amount of work that we need in terms of applying and drying. Any of the little minor scratches that were left over potentially do get resolved with this, as it has minor filling capabilities as well.
Perfect. Alright, maybe I should give Bruno a hand and then we'll get back to the camera. And this is the finished product. Absolutely stunning. The paintwork ain't bad either. The car's stunning. Bruno?
All done?
All done.
Okay, so ceramic coatings, just a little bit about ceramic coatings. So obviously protection against the elements, bird droppings, rain, all that sort of thing. It also helps keep the paint clean for longer. So a lot of the water and dirt repelling properties on the ceramic coating maintain the car looking nicer for longer, so less washing and maintenance. But the main reason why people ceramic coat their cars is obviously for the UV protection and the bird droppings and all that sort of thing. But ideal for a scenario like this with the truck that goes through all the elements. You'll probably find that if you're out off-roading with a group of people, your car will probably stay the cleanest for the longest.
It always does. It always does. The mud actually just slides off, which is funny to see.
Yeah, something like this typically lasts around the 2-year mark, depending on how you maintain it. Obviously, regular washing's still part of it, even though it does stay cleaner for longer. But yeah, you should get 2 years on paper in terms of a warranty. There are things that you can do, like I was mentioning to yourself, George, with the reload. Reload helps, it acts sort of like a vitamin for the ceramic coating itself, and you can extend the lifespan on it. So typically, if you reload it every 3 to 6 months, you could probably get 3 years out of it.
Perfect. Well, the last one we did, as I said, was what, 3.5 years ago?
Yeah.
And it was still good.
And working on a car that's been ceramic coated in the past is always a pleasure, because removing the scratches typically are a lot easier, because you're actually pulling away the scratches from the ceramic coat as opposed to the factory clear on the vehicle itself. So it's always that little bit easier to remove scratches. As we noticed, we had a little bit more of an issue trying to do the canopy, which hadn't been ceramic coated, but once we moved to the body of the car that had been coated 3 and a bit years ago, it started to get a bit easier after that. So just consider it like a sacrificial clear that you can have on the body of the car. And if you do scratch it, if it's small enough, you're typically only scratching the ceramic coat itself.
Yeah, which is a big bonus.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes time for Bruno to come past and do it again. But give you a quick walk around. As you can see, it's like a mirror there. You can see that good looking bloke waving at you there. There we go. The canopy, as my followers will know, that's a new canopy. That hasn't been ceramic coated before, as Bruno had said. So it was harder getting the scratches out of that than it was the car, because the car had been done before. But looks brand spanking. And remember, guys, you're not going to get all of them out 100%, but as long as most of them come out, you have to be realistic. And there you have it. That's who takes care of my car. I mean, after I go four-wheel driving, I very rarely actually get a bucket and soap and actually do it properly. I go to high pressure hose, car wash, give it a squirt over, and that's it. I don't really use chamois in that, and my car 90% of the time actually looks clean, and that's thanks to the ceramic coating. Anyway, so give Bruno a call. Let me give him a shameless plug here. As I said, Bruno's been looking after my cars for a while, so it's not only the YouTube video I thought I'd put him on, but he does good work, and as I said, he's been looking after them for years, way before my YouTube video started. That's the business there. Contact details are just there, and I will put the contact details below on the video. And I don't know, let's try and screw him a little bit. Bruno, what are you going to do for the Uncaged viewers, followers that give you a call?
Well, if they subscribe, let's call it 10%. So anything marked on the Facebook page itself in terms of the pricing, we'll whack 10% off that as well.
There you go. 10%, get it done. It looks spot on and you won't regret it. All right, guys, break the cage, get outdoors and get your car detailed.